From an empty plot of land to a Vikings destination, the team has a deal now to move out of Minneapolis and into Arden Hills. Take a look at everything planned for this 436-acre site now. A retractable roof stadium, several lots for tailgating, even a cinema.
The specifics came out late this afternoon. We have live team coverage tonight. Bob McNaney is in Chopper 5 to show us the biggest hurdle.
We want to start, though, with Tom Hauser, who broke the news of this Ramsey County deal this morning, and tonight he can break down the plans to pay for it. Tom?
What we do know is that this stadium, tentatively, is projected to cost a little over $1 billion. So, of course, the first questions to be answered is who pays for it and how. Let's take a look at the deal that is on the table tonight here in Ramsey County. $407 million would come from the Vikings. That's about 39%. $350 million would come from Ramsey County, most of that from a half-cent sales tax increase in Ramsey County, and then another $300 million from the state. Some of that would come from a proposed tax on pro sports memorabilia. Vikings owner Ziggy Wilf told me it's a better project than the Anoka County deal from 5 years ago.
The times are different, our partner is different, the site location is better, it's closer, it provides a tremendous opportunity to build a site that we can clean up and provide all the jobs necessary to make this a successful project.
And Ziggy Wilf toured the stadium site with Ramsey County commissioners and a bunch of Vikings fans just after that news conference. But as their excitement builds, so could the number of obstacles to this deal. One state lawmaker who represents the Arden Hills area sent a letter to the Wilfs already today saying they should pay at least half the cost of the stadium. That would be 11% more than is on the table now. That would be millions of dollars more. But again, this is really just the start of a stadium drive. Now the tough job is ahead. The Wilfs and Ramsey County commissioners have to try to sell this deal to skeptical taxpayers and maybe an even more skeptical state legislature. Live in Arden Hills, Tom Hauser, 5 Eyewitness News.
And that stadium could host more than 70,000 fans for each Vikings game. So making major changes to the roads around the Arden Hills site is a must. And we learned today improving Highway 10, Highway 96, and 35W to handle all that traffic could cost as much as $240 million just for the roads. 5 Eyewitness News reporter Bob McNaney continues our team coverage tonight from Chopper 5. Bob?
From Chopper 5, you get a good view of the overall need for infrastructure and roadways. With us is Al Tinklenberg. He is the former Commissioner of Transportation for the state of Minnesota and now a transportation consultant.
From a transportation perspective, it represents some enormous challenges. I mean, all of the traffic from the site funnels basically onto 35W.
So that means lanes would be added.
Is it the kind of project that, even though it was built for a stadium, could help the commuter every night?
Yes, it could, and a lot of the improvements that are being proposed for the stadium are improvements that have been talked about by a variety of groups, the communities, other civic groups in the area, and so it would benefit the daily commuter enormously.
So $250,000 for roadway is what's being talked about. Does that seem about right to you?
It seems like a reasonable estimate. I mean, if you look at other transportation projects, it's not surprising you get to that kind of a number. Highway 494 and 169, the interchange there alone is about $140 or $150 million. So you start looking at multiple kind of improvements that are being proposed for this site, and the number quickly moves into that $250 million range.
One reason for the need for all of the roadway improvements is this site will not have access by way of train, something Viking fans have taken advantage of at the Dome.
A large portion of the attendance coming by North Star or by the light rail line, you don't have access to that easily on this site.
Tinklenberg points out the road projects will take roughly 3 years to get done. In Chopper 5, Bob McNaney, 5 Eyewitness News.
And we broke the news. A deal was imminent on Twitter this morning. And we also broke the news to a huge Vikings fan who was on the steps of the Capitol today.
You're telling me that this is going down right now? If that's what you're telling me, this is equally the happiest day of my life.
Larry, that's what we're telling you. Larry Spooner picked today to tailgate at the Capitol to encourage lawmakers to get a stadium deal done. He's been there since before the sun was up. He got there at 4 o'clock this morning. Well, the Metrodome site is still in play. Yeah, the Metrodome site. Two competing designs, two competing price tags.
Here's the bottom line. The net cost for the Metrodome, $895 million. The Arden Hills Stadium, about $1.1 billion. That is according to the Metropolitan Sports Facilities Commission, who crunches the numbers. The stadium Minneapolis wants to build at the Metrodome site would look like this, and that looks good to fans who want the team to stay downtown. Just blocks from the Dome, a fan in town for today's Twins game told us that he worries about his favorite hangouts if the Arden Hills location is chosen.
I think it would have to be a really, really, really good deal for us to make a major move, because I think more people are going to get hurt than are going to get helped.
In talking to people downtown, opinions were pretty split. Some very much favored that move to Arden Hills.
And keep in mind, lawmakers considering both plans released in the last 30 hours have until May 23rd to get any sort of stadium deal done. Governor Dayton has hinted he would call a special session. We'll continue to track any progress for you. And if you'd like to view the different plans or listen to today's news conference, you can go to KSTP.com and click on our interactive web center.